Good morning, 8th grade Wildcats. Today's standard is Algebra and Functions, 8AF2. Give examples of linear equations in one variable with one solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solutions. Show which of these possibilities is the case by transforming a given equation into simpler forms until an equivalent equation of the form x equals a equals a, or a equals b result, where a and b are different numbers. Today's question is, select all of the equations that have one solution. Before you begin answering your questions, let's talk a little bit about the testing environment again. The iLearn is a little different than iStep in the past, and it may or may not have a time limit the same as iStep did. So in that case, we need to be respectful to our peers that are still testing. So during a practice session or the actual session, we want to make sure that there's no talking, that we're staying seated, that there are no passes in or out of class, that you're working independently, and that when you are finished, you're not moving on until the time is up. And that may look like just sitting there quietly and waiting for others to finish. You will not be able to get out a book or get out pencil and paper to draw or to color or anything else. So part of why we're practicing this is not only to practice the questions, but also to practice the testing environment. So the time limit may not be as long as you need, or you may feel it's not long enough. And so we are not only practicing just for the questions, like I said, but we're practicing on getting ready for the testing environment. So really work on sitting quietly until the time is up and making sure you're being respectful to those that are still testing. Be sure to write down all of the question, show all your work. You have 10 minutes. You may begin. Time is up. Let's take a look at the answer. This question, we're going to select all equations that have one solution. So in order to know if they have one solution, we have to solve each of them. So on part A, we would have to combine like terms across the equal sign by subtracting 7x from both sides. So we would have 2x equals 2. Therefore, we would divide by 2. So x would equal 1. So A would have one solution. On part B, 5x equals 5x, since that's the same answer, or we could solve it by showing that we can subtract 5x from both sides, so 0 equals 0. And since that's a true statement, but we have eliminated our variables, that is infinitely many solutions. So that one is not included in our answer. So moving on to letter C, we would subtract 3x from both sides to get 5x equals 6, and we can divide both sides by 5 to get that x equals 6/5 or 1 1/5, but again, that is one answer, so C would be one solution. On letter D, we can subtract 6x from both sides and show that 0 equals 0. So again, that one would be infinitely many solutions. So it is not an answer to our equation for today. And lastly, we have 4x equals 4x plus 4, so we would combine our like terms across the equal sign by doing the inverse operation. So 0 equals 4, and that is not a true statement. So in this case, this one would be a no solution. So the two answers to this problem would be A and C.